All right, so today's book is gonna be The Courage to be Disliked. I like the title of the book. Seems very interesting to me. So you need to know that you cannot appeal to everyone. Bilmemiz, мы не можем всем нравиться, and it's okay that someone dislikes you. That's very interesting. So let's see what the book can say. The Japanese phenomenon that shows you how to change your life and achieve real happiness. Actually, yes, when we try to please others and adapt to them, although we can seem as good people to them, deep inside we may not be happy. So this is about real happiness. Let's see. I think lots of families will get ruined because of this book, because if brides come out and say, "No, I don't want to live like this anymore," oh my God, what's gonna happen? All right, so let's get to the point about the introduction, about this person who wrote the book. Chapter number 1. Your past doesn't determine your future. Although it determines your status, don't think that everything you do today is irrelevant to your future. It's relevant to the future. Many of us believe we are trapped by our past experiences. We are trapped. It's like we are limited, let's say. We think our childhood traumas, our genetics control who we are and what we can become. This belief called determinism makes us feel powerless to change. No, I don't think like that. The philosopher boldly states, boldly, I think it's like Korkmin, with a courage. Your past doesn't determine your future. This core principle of Adlerian psychology differs from Freudian theories that emphasize past experiences. According to Adler, we are not driven by past causes, but by future goals. This freedom from past psychology represents a significant difference in the Adler versus Freud psychology debate. Uh, I think I know him. Dickmus or something like this was his name. Okay, so it says don't think about past too much. Build your future, set goals, and go after them. Your life is not something that someone gives you, but something you choose yourself. This is something that I like. And you are the one who decides how you live. Very good. Notice when you create stories about your past to justify current choices. Обосновать, осословбирмо. When you catch yourself saying, I cannot change because of what happened to me, challenge this belief. Start asking, how am I choosing my current situation? Even if these choices feel unconscious. Why you are where you are and why you are who you are. By separating your past from future, you gain freedom and responsibility. While past events cannot be changed, your interpretation of them can, the way you see them and the way you describe them. This shift is both liberating, it gives you freedom, and demanding, it demands from you. You can no longer blame external factors, ташкы факторланы, наружные факторы, but you gain the power to author your own life. I think I'm gonna read a book now which will teach us that everything is in our own hands, and we are, and only we are, responsible for everything we have in our life. I think this is the truth that many people don't want to accept. It's more convenient to think that others are guilty, blame others for our misfortunes, for our failures. Have you ever used your past as an excuse to avoid making changes? What story about your past might you need to reinterpret to move forward? So it says, if you think something about your past, just change the way you see the situation, change the way you interpret it, and then everything will change. All problems are relationship problems. We often view our struggles as purely personal. Anxiety, depression, career challenges, or health issues seem unconnected to others. This perception can lead to ineffective solutions that don't address the real source of our problems. Mhm. The philosopher makes a surprising claim: all problems are interpersonal relationship problems. This insight suggests that the root of all psychological problems lies in how we relate to others and our place in community. So everything that doesn't satisfy us, көңіліміздің толтырып жүрген нәрселер, чем мы недовольны. It's not only about us. It's not only about people around us. It's about our relationship with these people. Nobody is bad. The relationship can be bad. Understanding interpersonal relationship problems is essential to applying, to using the main points of the courage to be disliked in your life. Next time you face a challenge, look for the relationship component. It's part, if you don't know. Самочасть. For example, work anxiety often stems from fears about colleagues' perceptions or disappointing your boss. Yesterday, Argentina was playing against Egypt, and I was really afraid that Argentina can lose the game. But actually, now reading this book, I realized that I was not afraid that Argentina could lose. I was afraid of all these reactions from people around me, especially these CR7 fans. For example, okay, we read that even when alone, we carry these relationship patterns with us. By recognizing the interpersonal nature of problems, you gain clarity about their true source. Мы начинаем, мы понимаем настоящий источник проблемы. Instead of trying to fix yourself in isolation, you can address the relationship dynamics that created the issue in the first place. Talk about with people with whom you are not on good terms. Separate tasks to maintain healthy boundaries. Many relationship struggles come from boundary confusion. Границы, чеклаулар. We take responsibility for others' feelings or blame them for our emotions. This creates unhealthy dynamics where everyone feels burdened and resentful. Okay. Adler introduced the concept of separation of tasks, a clear understanding of what is your responsibility and what belongs to others. This task separation psychology is demonstrated through a simple example. A mother loses sleep over her son's homework, but studying is the son's task, not yours. It's not that anyone can get rid of interpersonal relationship problems. What we should learn is the approach of not taking up others' problems. Yandaшу подход. Kimdirni muammosini o'zingga olma deb turibdi. Egoist bo'lish o'rgatjak o'xshaydi. We are Uzbeks. We are not like that. Someone's problem is our problem. Shitty book. Okay, come back to the book. Identify areas where you have taken on others. At work, your task is to perform well, not to make your boss happy. In relationship, your task is to be supportive, not to solve others' problems. Practice saying, I care about you, but this is your challenge to face. Давай сам, zing. Selamni berdi компостить etmamani. Proper separation of tasks creates healthier relationship with clear boundaries. You'll experience less anxiety over things outside your control. Others will develop more responsibility for their own lives. Both parties gain freedom and authenticity. Authenticity is like realism, like this. Actually, it's true. My mom, for example, from my childhood, not from my childhood, from my adolescence, used to say, son, it's your problem. Deal with it. Are you a man or what? Because of that, I think when I have problems, I tend to solve them independently without addressing someone. Pause this audiobook to take a moment and answer these questions. Which relationship in your life might benefit from better task separation psychology? I think all the relationships. When people come to you with their problems, you can say, yes, it's a problem. I understand. So, like, I support you. I believe you can do that. Do this. Develop the courage to be disliked. Адам seni yaman göredi bu üçün, lekin şuna tayyor bo'l. Будь готов, что тебя не будут любить. Fear of other disapproval traps many people in unfulfilling lives. This fear drives countless decisions, from career choices to daily social interactions, preventing authentic self-expression, real self-expression. We don't express what is inside. We only adapt, the book says, not me. One of the courage to be disliked main points is that living freely requires the courage to be disliked. This doesn't mean deliberately antagonizing others. Aber ataylab, специально antagonizing others, I think it's upsetting others. But being willing to face disapproval when living according to your values demands it. Ah. Birovni xafa etishda emas bu yerda. Bu yerda просто o'zingni valuelaringga rioya etishingda. Это не про то, чтобы обидеть других или как-то наоборот их принизить. Это про свои ценности. Freedom is being disliked by other people. Freedom is being disliked by when you don't care that people don't like you, you have the freedom. Start with small acts of authenticity. Express an honest opinion in a respectful way. Pursue an interest others might find unusual. Set a necessary boundary even when others push back. Each small step builds your courage muscle. Learning how to be authentic despite criticism is a skill that develops. Еще раз нам хата tushunmali. Давайте не будем это неправильно трактовать. Bu yerda aytib qo'yibdi, o'zingnikinda dur, lekin respectful bo'l deb qo'ydi. Respectful bo'l bu yerda key part. Biz bir odamligimizni yoddan chiqarmoq holda yo'q desak ham, o'zlarimiznikini o'tirsak ham, we have to do it respectfully. The courage to be happy also includes the courage to be disliked. When you have gained that courage, your interpersonal relationships will at once change into things of lightness. Yengillashadi deydi, облегчится. As you develop this courage, you will experience greater freedom and authenticity. While some people might indeed dislike your choices, на самом деле, haqiqatdan ham, others will be drawn to your genuine self-expression. Lekin boshqalari yoqadi seni self-expressioning deydi. Inaqa real, haqiqiy, authentic. Your relationships become more meaningful based on who you truly are rather than a carefully constructed image. Very good. Sen nichligingni bilib turib отношения qursalar, zo'rroq отношения bo'ladi. Ularga kerak odam bo'lib berganingdan ko'ra, deb turibdi. Лучше быть собой и строить отношения на базе этого, вместо того, чтобы подстраиваться и быть таким, каким тебя хотят видеть. Let go of the need for recognition. Мога тәмбәрселлә, no. Не нужно тебе это признание других дейді. Many of us are addicted to approval. We work overtime for praise, мақташлары үшін, чтобы нас похвалили. Help others to be seen as generous, щедрый, сахи. Pursue achievements mainly for recognition. This creates a life where our happiness depends on others' evaluation. The philosopher explains that true freedom comes from letting go of the need for recognition. When your actions are driven by internal values rather than external validation, you regain independence and authenticity. This shift from contribution versus recognition happiness is transformative for many readers of The Courage to be Disliked Samurai. Yes. Test your motivations, by asking, would I still do this if no one ever knew about it? Deep. Курсовал Карагла. Глубокий вопрос. Practice doing good deeds without telling anyone. Pursue skills and interests for the joy of the experience rather than the praise. Actually, it's about traveling, guys. Most people travel just to show others that they travel. I hate that. So, the same about cars or homes, I believe. We do that for others, not for ourselves. As you reduce your dependence on recognition, you will experience more stable satisfaction. Your self-worth becomes grounded in your values than others' opinions. You can enjoy praise when it comes, but no longer need it to feel worthy. Think about a recent decision or action. Was it motivated by real interest or the desire for recognition? Тәмбәршләр өченме? Чтоб тебя признали. How might that decision change if recognition weren't a factor? Join the conversation on your social media, on our. Find meaning through contribution. Хissa qo'shish orqali. С помощью вклада. Many people chase happiness through acquisition. Alamam deb. Возьму. More money, better relationship, higher status. This getting mindset, getting, creates a perpetual sense of lack. Perpetual дегені даими, постоянный sense of lack. Bir narsa yetishmay turaveradi. Всегда что-то не хватает. Where there is always more to want and never enough satisfaction. Adler suggests a fundamental shift. Move from asking, what can I get, to what can I contribute? Not what can I get, what can I give? According to the philosopher, meaning comes not from what we receive, but from what we give to the world and others. Actually, yes. Happiness is the feeling of contribution. When you know that you are doing something worthy, арзидонна сакылып турсан, когда ты знаешь, что ты делаешь что-то стоящее, look for ways to contribute in your daily life. This doesn't mean self-sacrifice. Өзіңнен құрбан етшің шарт емес дейді, не обязательно себя жертвовать. But finding how your natural strength and interest can benefit others. A teacher contributes by helping students learn. An artist contributes by creating beauty. Even a smile or a kind word to a stranger counts. Inobatga olinadi, считается. Understanding contribution versus recognition, happiness is another key principle in the summary of the courage to be disliked. When you shift to a contribution mindset, you gain agency instead of waiting for the world to make you happy. You build healthy community connections and move beyond the comparison trap, since contribution isn't a zero-sum game. Live fully in the present moment. Many people escape the present by dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Dwelling is living. These mental time shifts help us avoid facing current challenges but prevent us from fully living and addressing the tasks. The philosopher argues that the only moment we can actually live is now. Adler identifies tasks of life that include building relationships, contributing through work, and giving, receiving love, all of which can only be addressed in the present. The greatest life of all is not live here and now, to not live this moment to the full. Practice the courage of the ordinary, oddi, обычный, by fully engaging with everyday realities. Have that difficult conversation you have been avoiding. Very good. Put genuine effort into your current work. Show up authentically in today's relationships rather than postponing life until some future achievement. These living in the present moment techniques form a practical application of Adlerian psychology. Present focused living brings a quality of attention that transforms ordinary interactions. You will waste less energy on regrets or worries and have more capacity for meaningful engagement with what is actually happening now. So here it says, oddiy qilib yurgan ishlaringni o'zgartir. Поменяй то, что ты обычно делаешь, и shu bilan energiyangni waste etmaysan, regret etmaysan, worry etmaysan deb turibdi-da, и как раз meaningful ishlarni atasan ko'proq. Develop community feeling to create belonging. Bir yere bağışlılık tuyg'usi, то, что ты принадлежишь куда-то. Modern life often leaves people feeling isolated, even when surrounded by others. This disconnection contributes to various psychological problems, as humans fundamentally need to feel they belong to a community. Gaiman describe it as social interest. This goes beyond simple sociability to a deep sense of connection with humanity and understanding that your well-being is linked to others. Your life is linked to others. Develop community feeling, Adler emphasized by noticing interconnection in daily life. How many people contributed to the food you eat, clothes you wear, and infrastructure you use? Look for small opportunities to contribute. Practice seeing others as equals rather than competitors or judges. Biza birgalikda yaxshi ishlab yuribmiz deb qarashni o'rgan deydi. Научись смотреть, типа, вы вместе делаете что-то хорошее, instead of looking as a competition. И shu narsani, menimcha, ko'p odam tushunishi kerak. Многие должны это понять. Shu narsani propaganda etish kerak. Zo'r gap. I just love this. Look for small opportunities. Practice seeing others as equals rather than competitors or judges. Oh my God. How beautiful it is. Copy. As you build stronger community feeling, you'll experience less isolation and more meaning. Your actions take on greater significance when understood as contributions to a larger whole. Even in solitude, ялгызлыкта, даже в одиночестве, you can keep this sense of human connection. Learn the mental models from Adlerian psychology. The Ichiro Kishimi book summary explores several powerful mental models from psychology that you can apply across different areas. Okay, horizontal, vertical relationship model. In vertical, you constantly compare yourself to others, trying to be better, superior is better, or avoiding inferiority, uh, being worse. In horizontal relationships, you interact with others as equals, neither above nor below. Use this model in workplace dynamics by focusing on collaboration rather than competition. Instead of asking who is ahead, ask how can we combine our strength. Bu уже слишком akıllı adamlar için ekan. Очень для умных людей. Oddiy adam tushunmaydi buni. Не поймет обычный человек все это. The task separation filter, decision-making framework that helps identify what is truly your responsibility versus what belongs to others. When facing work challenges, apply this filter by asking, is this actually my task to do? This prevents taking on problems that belong to other departments or individuals. The contribution mindset, evaluating choices based on what you can add rather than what you can get. What you can add instead of what you can get. When considering career moves, use this mindset to assess opportunities not just by salary or title, but by how they allow you to contribute value to others and society. Implementation guide, the last chapter. Начата bundan енді faydalanışımız gerek. Как мы должны этим пользоваться? Create a task separation note in your phone when you find yourself affected by someone else's mood. Clarify the boundary by writing. Their mood is their task. Их настроение, их дело. Уланы настроение, уланы işi. My response to their mood is my task. This simple distinction can create immediate relief by clarifying responsibility. Conduct a recognition audit by making two columns. Things you do mainly for praise versus things you do regardless of recognition. Sen науы қыласың hayatыңда мақтаушылар үшін, что ты делаешь, чтобы тебя похвалили, и науны қыласың өзің үшін, и что ты делаешь для себя. Look for one activity from the recognition column you can approach differently this week. Кейін аса, бірінші нәді, шу біреу үшін қылатын ішлеріңнен башқача қарашын өрген дейді. Научись смотреть на это под другим углом. Ongoing practice. Implement a daily contribution moment by asking each morning, how can I add value today? How can I add value today? Start with small specific actions that align with your natural которые подходят with your strength. It's so good to be a teacher, guys, because just by living your life, just by giving your lessons, you do all of this stuff. Oh my God. I think in other professions, the same thing, not only in teachers. Because by doing something, you always make someone's life better. And this is the main thing the book says. And I agree with that. We should try to give more. We should try to add more. We should try to contribute more. In this case, by seeing that we matter, that our actions matter, I think we can feel happier. And also, yes, we need to set personal boundaries. We need to know what is our task and what is not ours, what is our responsibility and what is not ours. Based on that, we can build our life.